Part Cameron Diaz, part Barbara Eden. That's me. The genius who came up with the subtitle, which I thought was the most awesome subtitle ever. I have a hard time with titles, wrestle with it, and when I finally came up with this, I said, I said to my wife, this is the best subtitle I'm going to come up with in my life. Look at this, the last career guide you'll ever need. And then I said, when it came out, sequels. Oh! That's the sequel possibility. But we're actually thinking about it. We're actually thinking about it. And as people who are Japanese are familiar with the Japanese hardcore Japanese manga fans, there's actually a character, Sakushima, salaryman manga, and Shima's been around forever. And Shima goes from a lowly job to division chief, section chief, and now he's CEO. And so we're contemplating taking Johnny further along, but we're gonna wait and see. Yes.
So what happens when the fans start making the further adventures of Johnny Bunko?
When the fans start making the further adventures of Johnny Bunko, I am going to be so psyched. I'm going to be linking to it. I'm going to be putting it up on my Facebook page. I'm going to be Twittering. I'm going to be the world's biggest celebrator of it. It hasn't happened yet. But, when someone has a knockoff version of Johnny and Carlos falling in love, I seriously, I would be delighted about that. Because think about that from a creator's point of view. Someone cares so deeply about this. They're not just reading it out, sorry. They're thinking about the characters. They're wondering about the characters. They're imagining the characters. They're seeing things that you didn't even think about your characters. I just think that's so incredible. I just, honestly, as a business person, I say, how could that possibly be a bad thing? How could that possibly be a bad thing if this person with ample time on their hands has, wants to do doujinshi version of this? Now, on the other hand, if someone, photocopies this thing at Kinko's and sells it on the street corner for $1, my wife's a lawyer. So, but for people doing original stuff, I would be, honestly, I'd be overjoyed. What do we have? One more? One more. Yes.
On account of the homebrewed manga, how are they getting their startup? Like, how are they going about that in terms of funding?
Interesting. So the question is, on the homebrewed manga, how are they getting their start? How are they getting their funding? It's a very interesting question. A lot of times, sometimes it's individual artists, but the doujinshi, they're organized in what are called, in English, are called circles, doujinshi circles. So it's often more than one person. So there's a lot of peer-to-peer teaching of how to do it, number one. And there also is, I should have brought it with me because this is pretty interesting. There's this fairly sophisticated, fairly elaborate, not expensive infrastructure that allows the printing and the publishing of these things. So at these Komike fairs, there are these, not publishers in the publisher sense, but printers basically, who will do it, and who will produce these works and do it in a very sophisticated, very high quality way for not very much money. And so Betty at the Japan Society looked at, saw the doujinshi and said, wow, this is, pretty good. I mean, it's very high quality paper. And so there's a whole infrastructure, such a big business, there's a whole infrastructure that allows you to do that, and for relatively little money. So they learn from each other, they finance it, basically bootstrap it out of their own pockets for not that much, and the distribution channel are these comic markets. Thank you.
We'll be selling the book, and we'll be happy, I know, to sign it. And we'll be having a reception, so please